morning. Welcome to another episode of AI Buzz. My name is Nick. I have tons of good machine learning and artificial intelligence stories for you today. Thank you for being here. Let's get started. First up, models are helping to predict traffic patterns. I wanted to first talk about this awesome study from Lawrence Berkeley National Lab in collaboration with the California Department of Transportation. So everyone loves traffic, right? Traffic, you sit in line to go to work, you sit in line to come home. People love it, myself included, can't you tell? So much fun. Every time I sit in traffic, I think there has to be a better way than this. I think that autonomous cars will help out a lot because people will actually not be looking at their phones and they won't have any sort of delay when the light changes, which propagates back in the line and causes everyone to be late to everything. But in the meantime, before we have autonomous cars and before Elon Musk eliminates traffic completely, we have to deal with it. And machine learning apparently can help us out. Thanks, machine learning. So this article from Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, California Department of Transportation, shows that researchers are making some really nice progress on speeding up and modeling traffic on California's highways. So what they did is they have a pretty sweet sensing network of kind of different sensors that can model, that can take measurements of traffic flow on some of the highways, and essentially they're able to validate how well their model performed. So they had models for traffic flow before. It's not completely new. But as they state in this article, a lot of them are kind of specialized and designed for certain things, and there's a lot of different ones. So what they did is they created an ensemble of models, and what happens when you do an ensemble of models is you kind of blend them together, and you take some average learners and make one awesome, high-performing, very stable model. So you make it very robust. It's able to handle a lot more unknowns than one of these individual models would. So that's exactly what they did. They made this really nice ensemble model, and then they did, let's go down, and then they tested it out on one of the sections of highways where they had sensors, and they found that it had accurate prediction on a 15-minute rolling basis. So like a 15-minute window of time, they were able to pretty accurately predict how the traffic would look. So this has huge implications. If we can get this kind of deployed everywhere, that would be awesome. You can really speed things up, help people out, make it safer too, because people lose their minds when there's a lot of traffic and do stupid things. So this technology could be used to potentially reroute traffic or change traffic lights, or come up with certain solutions that'll, say there's construction, things like that, that'll kind of, if there's an unknown, it'll help optimize it and just make it flow better for everyone. Next up, boom. Wanted to talk about this article from Forbes, written by, Nicholas Fern. First time I heard about this company, so Ocado, they are a food delivery company, and they are seriously using machine learning. And essentially what they're using it for is to optimize their routes. They're using it to optimize how orders are picked, and they're using it to optimize and predict who is going to order what, and they're getting really good at that. And kind of one of their main things is they're doing all this to really optimize everything and not waste as much food, because there's so many poor. I think some industries don't hardly do prediction at all. Like, think of restaurants that throw away half their supply into the dumpster at the end of the night. These places, if they're really optimizing how much they're ordering, then we won't be throwing away all this food, and it could go to people in need instead. So Ocado is doing it right. I love it. I read this whole thing, and I guess they spoke with the CEO of Ocado, James Matthews, and he essentially said just how much they're using machine learning. So he said they generate over 20 million forecasts a day for kind of seeing what customers are going to order, and they also they always have speed in mind because they're dealing with food. Speed is critical. They need things to be fresh. They need things to not be melted or spoiled. So 20 million forecasts a day to see what customers are going to order so that they don't over-order and then end up throwing things out. He states in the warehouses of Ocado, they have a swarm of robots, I guess, that can pretty much pick out orders. And he says an order of 50 items can be picked in just 5 minutes. That is wild. 5 minutes? Would not want to get hit by one of those robots. That's pretty sweet. And lastly, like I said, then they use it again to kind of optimize the route that the delivery vehicles take, which is really cool too. So all these approaches and leaning on machine learning and being very data driven, you're going to be running your company as efficiently as possible and not be throwing out all this stuff. It saves the company a ton of money, I'm sure. It makes the customers happy, and it's good for the planet. So nice job, Ocado. Nice work. Next up, United States versus the world in AI. It's a little bit scary. Wanted to cover this article from Reuters by Jeffrey Daston. There's also I've covered several stories before on this topic, and they all kind of say the same thing. U.S. is just we're not pumping enough resources into AI, and that would really possibly lead to our downfall. So there's this commission, the National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence. It's kind of supposed to be seeing where we are in the world of AI and how we can improve. And they are working on a report, like a full big report that they're going to release, I guess, next year. But they've kind of released tidbits, is my understanding from this article, on where we stand. And, as you can kind of see in the text here, still faces enormous work before it can transition AI into really being used by the military. And another thing they stated was a lot of, here we go. Here's what I was looking for. The U.S. is still great at research. We're coming up with some of the original ideas that are being used, but we're not applying. We're not implementing any of these things really into our infrastructure. Whereas China is a master at that. They can take technology and roll it out really, really fast. So this the National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence, they're working on this full report. There's some tidbits here, and they really are. What the heck happened? Sorry about that. Oh, what the? Oh my god. Hold, please. What's going on, guys? Don't know what happened there. My computer essentially revolted and died. Anyways, wanted to just conclude the story. So the National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence working on this full report to be released next year. We'll see exactly how bad we are doing in compared to other countries. So stay tuned. I'll be there. Last up, This one's really cool. I think this will help out a lot of people. So the Microsoft suite of products is getting a big facelift, going to be beefed up with new features. So lots of new intelligent features being added to the Office product line. So in Word and Excel, in Word, there's going to be a lot more natural language processing, smarter suggestions, as well as, this is really cool, justifications for different different suggestions. So it's not going to just suggest something and then you have to follow it blindly. It'll actually tell you why it thinks you should make that change. A lot of robotic process automation features as well, which I think will really speed up our workforce. How many times do you spend, or do you just do the same thing over and over in Excel? That really could be useful if more people start using that. And lastly, Outlook. I'm definitely going to use this feature. So they have a feature that it's called Meeting Insights, and it's going to be able to kind of look at your email and your upcoming meetings, and then it'll try to pull together documents that it thinks will be really useful for those meetings, which is huge because you don't have to search through a year's worth of emails to find the relevant documents. So really cool stuff from Microsoft, and these features will be rolling out, I believe, right now in the latest update on all these products. Pretty cool stuff. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. Apologies for the technical difficulties. What I talked about today, I talked about how models are helping to optimize traffic flow in California. A cool food delivery company called Ocado is reducing food waste with machine learning. The National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence is creating a report of how far behind we are in the world of AI compared to other countries. And lastly, starting today on some systems, the Microsoft Office suite of products is getting a big jump start, and excited to see where these new features will bring us. I think it'll make the whole workforce of the world more productive if we can start using machine learning more in this family of products. Thanks so much for joining me today on this episode of AI Buzz. I'm your host, Nick. Be back very soon with more machine learning and artificial intelligence stories. Have a good day. Bye.